to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the WC podcast. Today we have a very special guest. Please help me welcome Shannon Petersen, Executive Vice President of Corporate Banking Manager for Nevada State Bank, and my fellow LVGEA board member. Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited. This is my first podcast.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
we have, I think, now 130 episodes under our belt.
Yes, that's very impressive.
Yeah, so I'm grateful that you're here. I know that it's been a while, but originally we started this to really for our board members at Workforce Connections, our local elected officials. But Tina Quigley, for example, said, let's get the LVGEA board members on there. And then Mary Beth Sewell also told me, let's get the trustees. So we're only half, I think, through that list.
Yes.
We're working our way through it.
Very engaged and impressive list of subject matter experts here in our community.
And here you are, grateful that you're here with us today, Shannon.
Yes, happy to be here.
So let's start by learning a little bit about you. Tell us where you were born, where you grew up, where you went to school, college, and perhaps all the way to your first job. Tell us that story.
Okay, so I grew up in a very small rural community, primarily agriculture in Northern California. I grew up in a town of 5,000. My high school had 200.
What was the name of that town?
Rio Vista.
Okay.
Rio Vista is in the Delta, and it's located almost directly between Sacramento and San Francisco.
Oh. Is
Predominantly,
Fresno nearby there or no?
it's a few hours.
Oh, okay.
So it's about 45 minutes outside of San Francisco
Okay.
in an agriculture along the river there. Beautiful
Oh.
place, small town. Everybody knows everything about everybody. That can be good. And that can, of course, be intrusive at times. But, we really, I grew up in a community as if it was family. Everybody supported each other, cared for each other, and really took an interest. I grew up raising pigs and sheep for the
Wow.
FFA. Back then I was afforded the luxury of being able to play all three sports. That's unheard of now.
Yeah.
You got to dedicate your life to something when you're in kindergarten, it seems like nowadays. But and after I graduated high school, I pursued my higher education at the University of California in Santa Cruz, which is a couple hours away from where I grew up.
They're the gauchos, I think.
No, we are the banana slugs.
Oh, banana
slugs.
That's
Yes,
right.
UCSC. Moved. Like I said, it was a couple of hours west, right on the ocean there. Didn't really know what I wanted to pursue. It took that first year of general education courses. I took my first economic course and essentially fell in love. I was fortunate to be able to get into a program at UC Santa Cruz that offered a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in a total of 5 years. So I was able to reduce, my time at the institution, as well as it saved quite a bit of money. So I received my bachelor's in economics and my master's in finance. How I became associated with banking, I think if you ask most commercial bankers or banker in general, how did you get started or interested in your career? Most of the time, the answer is by accident.
By chance.
I stumbled
Yep.
into it. And I would say that that's for the most part true. I was working on my thesis for my master's, and I needed some research. And one of my professors was an advisor at the Federal Reserve Bank in San Francisco. And he said, you can, come use our library, use our data, which I did. I did a paper on mega mergers in the banking industry. And in doing that, I spent quite a bit of time there going back and forth. And I was lucky enough to be asked to join the Federal Reserve Bank when I graduated.
Wow.
So that's where I started.
First job
Not my first job, going back to your question, my first,
in banking.
that was my first job in
Wow.
banking. Yeah. My first job is, I was a lifeguard, which many Californians
Sure.
do. I was a beach lifeguard. That put me through college and helped support my financial obligations to the
That's so
university.
cool.
Yeah.
Especially that you started again. We all have, like you said, jobs through our skill acquisition
Mhm.
phases. But the fact that you started banking at the Federal Reserve is like, not many people get to do that.
Yeah. I was fortunate to spend 3 or 4 years, about 3.5 years, doing that. And that was another scope or another aspect of banking. That was bank supervision and regulation. I traveled across the country to all the major financial districts: Chicago, New York, Dallas, San Francisco, doing audits on banks, really learning and understanding how a bank functioned and operated and was capitalized. So, it was really the foundation of my knowledge into banking.
Yeah, very cool.
Mhm.
As you were talking about Santa Cruz,
Yeah.
my daughter attended California Lutheran University in Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
And since she was an athlete, I remember going to a basketball game at the campus in Santa Cruz, and it was what I would call a small gym compared to others, but one
Mhm.
of the loudest ones I've ever been to.
Yeah, we got some spirit
Oh
up
my!
there in Santa Cruz. No, it was a perfect fit for me. It's a wonderful university. It's got a great um, collaboration with faculty and student in that the overall size. It's big enough to have the offerings and the variety of degrees, yet it's also small enough to have that personal touch with your professors and faculty that really, on the topic today, can connect you
Yeah.
as I was connected into the workforce.
Yeah.
My professor there at the university put me in direct contact, and that really sparked my career.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing that journey with us.
Of course.
So now let's move on to your primary responsibilities as corporate banking manager
Mhm.
here in your role now. Tell us about that, your day to
Mhm.
day. What do you focus on? What do you get your fulfillment from in your job? What's the most rewarding aspect of your role at
Yeah.
Nevada State Bank?
I really look at my primary roles and responsibility twofold. One, my team. What do we do daily? We provide financial services and solutions to the larger businesses, doing business primarily here in the state of Nevada. And what does that mean today? It means a lot more today as far as a variety of services and solutions. So it can range from providing the capital or credit they need to sustain or grow their business. It can mean treasury and cash management services to make sure they have proper working capital. It can mean asset management, excess liquidity. Something of topic, high topic, and priority lately is fraud protection. Fraud is at an all-time high. And how do we achieve it? My team of bankers and myself are responsible for really having our finger on the pulse of what is going on here in the state of Nevada. Many of my team was born and raised here, know the players, know the market, know the dynamics that go into the advisory and partnership necessary for these corporate banking clients. Many of these businesses are third, fourth generation. So we really have a unique opportunity being here and local to make those connections, get in there, understand the business, and provide that advisory partnership. That is one of my main role and responsibility. My second as an executive and leader in the company is to develop the next generation of talent. I recruit. We have programs within the company that serve that purpose alone. And there's nothing more. You asked what's the most rewarding aspect of it. Twofold. One, watching a business, giving that business their first 100,000 working capital loan, to watching them grow, produce jobs in this community, produce revenue in this community, develop the talent in the community, and really thrive as a successful business. We've diversified over the years. I've gotten the opportunity to learn a tremendous amount of information about a lot of different industries and companies, and that's what gives me the energy to want to come into the office every day. But equally as important and near and dear to my heart is really mentoring and developing the next generation of talent. I am a mother of three young adults. And it's my obligation. I want this next generation to be prepared and ready. There's a lot of different programs that I participate in to make sure that I'm doing my part in that. So within our company, I'm the executive sponsor of our development programs internally, where we go and recruit from high school. Our workforce at our company is from a teller all the way up to people who need their MBAs, corporate bankers. So it's a broad spectrum. And we're out there recruiting, offering development opportunities from high school, junior college, different technical type of schools, universities. So that's a very rewarding aspect.
Yeah, that's good. And
Mhm.
and that sets me up for my next question, because I was going to ask you to tell me a little bit about your unique leadership style as you're developing the
Mhm.
next leaders in your company. What kind of qualities do you consider important for a leader?
Important quality. I think you'll probably be able to tell from the interview by the end of this is passion. I'm a firm believer the energy you put off is so inspiring and motivating,
Mm.
regardless of the skill set on your team. So I think I'm a passionate leader. I think it comes without saying that you have to have integrity. That's any human, but certainly in a good leader, because you have to build the trust within your team, and you have to have accountability. You have to be comfortable, courageous, to make the decisions needed to project your team forward in an innovating and strategic manner. You just do. And sometimes those decisions aren't always the right decisions, but you got to have the courage to make them.
Yeah, that's really good. You listed off the top three of our core values here at Workforce Connections of our
Yeah.
team: trust, respect, accountability.
Yeah.
And then you have, like you said, teamwork, communication, service. All those things are important. So
Yes. Yes. They're all kind of levers that need to be pushed and pulled to, create the energy needed to have a successful team.
absolutely. Now, here in the labor market, as you know, Workforce Connections is all about talent development,
Mhm.
and here for us, the talent development pipeline, we talk about it at LVGEA a lot. It really starts in the K through 12 system, because if we just think about our talent as 18-year-olds, we're missing out on the deepest and longest piece of that pipeline, 13 years that they spent in that K through 12 system. So we really are working hard on making sure that the needs of the business community are addressed earlier on. But
Mhm.
there is a more open jobs than there is, people to fill them in our community.
Yeah.
It's affecting every employer. Can you share with us how that labor market shortage is affecting Nevada State Bank?
Yes. Yes. I think it's twofold on this as well. It's both direct and indirect, right? So direct, I'll go back to, our colleagues range in skill set from teller, which oftentimes it's one of the first jobs someone obtains when they turn 18,
Yep.
all the way up to a master's or beyond degree in finance or business. And so, it's our responsibility, or it impacts us tremendously when we don't have enough skilled labor to fill these positions. We're forced to, which we don't want to, recruit from out of state. That's not who we are. We are a bank in Nevada for Nevadans.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of obstacles and expense that comes with that. So you'll find our internal recruiting department, HR department, has a lot of different offerings of outreach where we go to a variety. You couldn't be more accurate. Where K through 12 is extremely important. We're heavily involved in junior achievement. We get in there and we teach classes in these elementary schools, not just about financial responsibility, but a component of that is a career. And of course, number one to share with them is the career in banking.
Yeah.
We have a vested interest there. But, indirectly, our clients, I ask my clients, one of my common questions I ask my clients is, what keeps you up at night? And I can tell you that oftentimes it's finding enough skilled labor
Mm.
to make sure I can produce the services or products that my clients need. I can't generate revenue without my services or my products. Um, but I'm happy to say our bank um, does what's called a small business survey every year. Jeremy Aguero from Applied Analysis, um, very well known in the community and supports a lot of the economic research done, is on our advisory
Oh,
board.
that's
And
awesome.
he does outreach to small businesses because the small businesses are really the heartbeat. They'll tell you everything you need to know.
Mm.
And I'll tell you, oftentimes I would say over the last 5 years, one of the top three concerns is skilled and sufficient labor for these small businesses. And that's pretty telling. Although last year's small business survey, it fell off the top three. So
Mm.
we're making some progress, it appears. Um, in that regard. One of the things I think, one of the programs that I think in my specific world of corporate banking, that I'm on the advisory board at the finance department of UNLV. And it's a commercial banking advisory, right? Because we're responsible. If it's not being produced as businesses here in this community, I need to outreach the universities, the different vehicles that offer um, the coursework needed to develop. So our goal is to create a minor in commercial banking, and it's a group of local bankers from all the major institutions down who formed a board. We teach classes, we volunteer our time, we go, we teach, and we're really hoping to attract, but yet also make sure they have the skill set needed to be ready to work when, in those cases, they graduate from college.
You mentioned earlier, I made a mental note to remember this
Uh-huh.
junior achievement. And I think about
Yeah.
Michelle because she's extended an invitation to go tour the progress
Yeah, the new
of,
building.
the new building, Biz Park and the
Uh-huh.
finance section. Will you guys be there?
Oh, absolutely.
okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Chairwoman of the board right now is Sandy Milton from our
Ah,
marketing department. We
okay.
usually have um, someone from our bank representing our board, on that board representing, because it's one of our top priorities in the community: financial responsibility, successful sustainability within our community. So yeah, Finance Park is going to be amazing experience for, all ages.
Right.
There's programs there that start from, elementary
Yeah.
school all the way up to graduating high school.
Yeah, the kids get to learn how a bank runs, how a
Yeah.
city runs, right? Or
Uh-huh.
the city council. I know the city of Las Vegas will be there. And so
Mhm.
there's, again, in organizations like banks have a naming right to say this is Nevada
Yeah.
State Bank,
Yeah.
mini kind of thing. So
Yeah. You'll see our name for
that's
sure.
great.
Another component is the courses that we offer. It'll be there as well as in the schools where these children are given jobs, and the job is associated with a salary. And it can be a wide variety. You could be making $100,000 a year as a professional, or you could be, starting off your
Teller.
first job, a teller,
Yeah.
and you have to live within your budget.
Yeah.
But then there's also a component in here, well, how do you get to make more money? Where do you invest your time and your money to develop? And that's a huge part
That's great.
of that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Hmm.
You're also a graduate of Leadership Las Vegas class of 2011. Mary Betsy will be happy to hear that. You completed the International Women's Forum Fellows program in
Yeah.
2022. Tell us a little bit about these two programs and how you benefited from them personally and professionally.
Sure. Yes, 2011, double the one, double the fun.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't speak more highly of the Leadership Las Vegas program. We put somebody through that program every year.
Mm.
And I can tell you, I was lucky enough to do it, I guess it was 13 years ago. Earlier on in my career, it gave me two things: one, connections and
Yeah.
mentorship
Yeah.
with other local leaders in different areas of the community. And these individuals are still my mentors and partners today. It is really a tribe. It is a sorority fraternity, not just within your own class, but every class thereafter. But what it also provided me was a real inside look on how our community runs and operates, from safety net to small business operations to government to history. I've been in Las Vegas for 23 years, but it wasn't really until I went through that leadership program that I really understood the connections,
Mhm.
and it provided resources throughout my career. I now had someone I could call at the city, I could
Yeah.
call in the casino, I could call at legislation to help my clients.
No, that's really good. I think
Mhm.
that the networking is
Yeah.
unmatched. I think, and then also to learn the cool things, like you said, we know we think we know how the justice system works, but when you go in there and you see really how it works, it's
You
fascinating.
absolutely, you don't know until you know.
Yeah,
And then you still don't know,
yeah,
but you at least have a better understanding and an appreciation, right? We can all, from 10,000 feet above, judge, but it's not until I went through that experience that it really sparked my interest in engaging even
yeah.
more so.
I agree.
Mhm.
So we've heard a lot from your professional life. I
Mhm.
want to kind of pivot and ask you. when you're not working
Yeah.
and your own time, what hobbies and activities do you enjoy?
Okay. I love spending time with my family and friends like most of us do, but we are big sporties. So love supporting and rooting on our Raiders. I am from Northern California.
Oh, so you,
So I am a Niners fan. However, I am a Raiders fan first now. Got to
oh,
be loyal
wow.
to the community. The Knights, my kids played sports, throughout high school. I attend their college sporting events now. And I'm also a huge music junkie. So we spend a lot of time attending concerts and festivals. Any opportunity I can get to travel, I do so. And, I thoroughly enjoy doing it with, as we were talking earlier, I have two children in college right now. So I try to get over and visit them and maybe catch a sporting event. But, that's where I thoroughly enjoy my downtime.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What of the three of them? What sports did they play? And
Yeah.
also, yeah, let's start there. What sports
Yeah.
are those three?
Yes. So my oldest was baseball.
Ah.
He's my son. My middle son, it was baseball and basketball.
Okay.
And then my daughter cheered
Okay.
throughout.
Which high schools? That's the second question.
So my oldest went to Riverview.
Ah,
We lived out in Centennial Northwest, and then
the Aggies.
the Aggies. And then my middle two went to Faith Lutheran.
Oh, wow. All the way.
They no, they started Faith Lutheran in I guess all the way 6th
Okay.
grade through 12th. They didn't go to the
Yeah.
academy, but
'Cause I
yeah,
know a lot of Faith Lutheran students eventually merged to Bishop Gorman, but they
Yeah.
stayed there the whole
yeah.
time.
No,
Okay.
we stayed at Faith Lutheran the whole time. They, were lucky enough to be able to participate in numerous things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. My daughter was a student athlete as well, and I think
Mhm.
when she was in middle school, or maybe it was high school, we went to play at Faith Lutheran, a
Uh-huh.
tournament or whatnot at
Yeah.
their basketball court there. So that was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, they have a nice little, I shouldn't say little, they have quite the facility.
Yeah, they have quite the
Mhm.
facilities there.
Yeah.
So you've again accomplished a lot, and not just again your professional life, but raising this family of
Yeah.
successful young adults who are now on their way as well. That takes a lot. And when you look back today, we have young folks that are just starting their career, and as they
Mhm.
look at you, what kind of advice would you give them? What nugget would you give them to say, those who say, I want to be like Shannon and have a great career, but also have my family life and
Yeah.
succeed at everything?
Yeah. Ugh, where do I start? I think it goes back to passion. Find something you thoroughly enjoy doing. You will find yourself, but you have to be engaged. I give, as I said, I am the executive sponsor of our development program within, and oftentimes, I'll ask these young adults, what do you thoroughly enjoy? We've built a program within our company that is an 18-month program, and it allows these young, talented individuals to circulate amongst different departments within the bank. Because we range from, like we said, teller marketing, wealth management, commercial banking. And I advise them to really pay attention to what drives their passion. What do they enjoy doing? Because you have to be able to show up. Number one, show up every
Mhm,
day.
mhm.
You have to have the energy, and you have to put out the energy that is appreciated by others and noticed by others. Great work ethic is something that we take for granted sometimes, but be engaged, ask questions. Nothing. When I what I notice the most about these young individuals is when someone is sitting there listening and observing, and then afterwards says, I have a few questions because I don't understand or I don't know. And so to me, that is probably the best advice I can give, because I think you're just happier in your overall atmosphere of life, personal, professional, if you thoroughly enjoy what you do. I still wake up every day and love to go to work.
Yeah, and it comes through in you.
Yeah.
You always, when you speak about, like you said, your work, you do it with passion. You can tell you're fulfilled by your work.
Yeah.
And so, as we near the end of the podcast, I wanted to tell you I've enjoyed. I always see you at our LVGA events, but
Yeah.
we don't have the time to sit down like this and
Yeah,
talk. So I
yeah.
really enjoyed hearing about your kids, your family, where you came from. So now I'd like to turn over the mic one last time
Mhm.
to you for any final thoughts, any events, opportunities, activities you want us to know about Nevada State Bank or any other organization that you're involved with.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And thank you. And this has been enjoyable as well. We got to do this more often.
Yes.
Maybe not podcast, but get together. Absolutely. I want to just leave you with this. Part of what I think is important, not just as a community leader or an executive within the company, or advice to the next generation, is making sure that we are all working together to create a sustainable Nevada, Southern Nevada. And a big piece of that is businesses such as my Nevada State Bank. Workforce Connections is a huge component, but working with the LVGEA and the variety of talent, and to be able to come together, bring in the experts in the areas needed to really protect our community, to drive it forward so that we're leaving a legacy and something behind for the next generation. Nevada State Bank has been doing this in our community for 65 years. And there's something to be said about that. We're tremendous supporters of community reinvestment. We talked a little bit about some of the programs we do, but we not only encourage, we require our colleagues to give back to the community. Part of your goals every year are to invest a minimum time, but we let you pick your passion. There's a lot by being in Nevada for Nevadans. Us executives are on various boards across our community, making sure that we have coverage in all areas so that we're all working together to create a sustainable, successful Southern Nevada overall. So.
No, that's good. That speaks highly of Nevada State Bank too. Those things that you said, not just the expectation that they, participate in community, give back, be on boards. That speaks highly of the organization.
Yeah.
Well,
we're going to be here for another 65 plus years.
You and I probably not, but our organization probably will, right?
I hope not. But
if we are
to do it for a long time.
If we are, we're going to be pretty old. But I agree with you. I think that I see, and the LVGA is one example, more than ever, we're growing up as a region because we used to be anchored in one industry, which we always will be, I think. We've built an infrastructure here in the hospitality industry unmatched in the world. But just last time we sat together there with the LVGA to think about that 10-year goal, we talked about really important things like saying, we're not going to reach the height of economic development we want if we don't have a more robust healthcare industry. Diversifying still is important. Manufacturing, IT, tech, all these things. And I start to see more collaboration than I've ever seen in Southern Nevada, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. Quality of life is tremendously important in the sustainability. And I'll leave you with this. Something I think that we don't do enough is share the successes. And I remember I was on a campaign years ago with LVGEA to get the story out. But, I don't think enough people from outside of Las Vegas, if we're here in Las Vegas, we know it, but I don't think, or Southern Nevada, I should say, it's known enough, the success stories. Look, I moved here 23 years ago. I've had a successful career. I've raised a family. My children are successful. There's life beyond, the reputation of party. It is a tremendous opportunity. It's affordable. And we need to make sure as a community that we stay that way. We remain top of mind for businesses looking to relocate here. And healthcare is affordable housing. These are all things that we have to make sure we pay attention to.
Yeah. Shannon, I've enjoyed our conversation.
Yes.
Thank you for
having me.
Yeah, thank you for making the time of your busy schedule
to
come and be with us today.
Of course.
All right. Well, that's it for another episode of the WC Podcast. We hope to see you at a future one. Until then, stay safe. Well, Shannon, thank you for staying over doing our bonus segment called Against the Wall.
All right.
The first segment is called Your Favorites. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to give you a category. You're going to give me your favorite thing on that category. Let's start with your favorite food.
Favorite food, crab.
Favorite meal that you cook?
Tacos.
Favorite wine for dinner?
Red.
Favorite musical group or artist?
Country.
Favorite movie?
Ooh, favorite. That's hard to pick one.
I'm going to pick 2 or 3, no problem.
I'm going to go with Steel Magnolias.
Oh, yeah.
Shawshank Redemption.
All criers.
I know. I'm deep.
Those are good.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, so that one's a little funny. That one you laughed too. Your favorite book?
Ooh, my favorite book. That's even harder to answer.
You give us a few.
Okay. I will go with A Mice and Men. I got to go
Oh,
with your
classic.
traditional, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'll go with those two.
Wow, very good ones. Your favorite sports team?
Ooh, we talked about this earlier. Okay, I'm going with
You have several.
Yeah, I'm going with 49ers, Raiders, Knights,
Yeah.
San Francisco Giants.
All right. Wow, very diverse. Now, good. You made it through the first segment called Your Favorites. The
Okay.
second one's called Tough Choices. I'm going to give you
Okay.
just 2 choices, and hopefully you can pick one. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Would you rather drive to your vacation spot or fly there?
Fly.
Get there, stay in a hotel or an Airbnb?
Airbnb.
When you retire, will it be on a ranch or in the city?
It'll be on the sea, ocean.
Oh, nice. So I know the answer to the next one. We were going to ask you, would you rather have a day by the ocean or hiking in the mountains?
Day by the ocean.
All right. If you were a superhero, would you rather have the ability to fly or breathe underwater?
Breathe underwater.
Again, superhero with the ability to speak with animals or speak any foreign language.
Ooh, both.
All
But I'll
right.
go with foreign language.
Superhero. Here's a tough one. Actions or words?
Both differently, but
All
if I
right.
have to pick one, actions.
Okay. Justice or grace? Tough ones.
Whew. Tough. Justice.
All right. Well, you made it through tough choices. The last
Okay.
segment is called Finish the Sentence.
Okay.
I'm going to give you about 95% of the sentence. You're going to finish it for me. You ready?
I'm ready.
If Shannon could visit any place in the world, it would be...
Right now, Italy.
All right. The best part of living in Southern Nevada is...
Las Vegas.
Shannon's favorite thing about her job at Nevada State Bank is...
Providing advisory services to my clients.
Good. If Shannon could travel back in time, she would travel to...
1994, the year I graduated high school.
Oh, okay. That's also I think the year we had the World Cup here in the U.S.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it would be about
right.
that, but I
No.
went to the Rose Bowl
But
to
it's
see a
kind of
game.
where I started to come into my own. One
All
of the
right.
best times in my life.
1994. Awesome. 3 words that describe Shannon are...
Passion, authentic, social.
Couldn't agree more. And doing the WC podcast today here with us was...
Amazing.
All right. Thank you for staying over doing the bonus segment.
Yes, thank you, honey.